What's up everyone, it's Kovarks here, back on the Kovarks Sports Channel, and today we are going to be giving you our 2022 predictions for the Georgia Bulldogs. This team won the national championship last year for the first time in over 40 years. It was an incredible moment for the program, and they returned quite a bit. They should be a pretty good team once again this year. Looking at this roster, they returned the likes of Stetson Bennett, and on the defense, they've got Keely Ringo, who had that amazing interception at the end of the Alabama game last year. This team should reload just fine. Maybe not as good as Alabama, who I had going 11-1. Make sure to check that video out yesterday. But this should still be a very solid team. Georgia, they've been able to reload. They're just like Alabama in the SEC. They've got great recruiting. So this should be a very good team. Against Oregon to start the season, they know Dan Lanning. He came from Georgia. They should know him pretty well, but it's the first game of the season, so it's not like they're going to have tape or anything. This will be a fairly difficult game. It is on a neutral site, but that neutral site is Atlanta, so it's basically a home game for Georgia. It should be one of their tougher games of the season. As you look over the schedule, it's a fairly easy schedule, all things considered. Some of the most difficult games you really have on there are Kentucky, South Carolina, and Oregon. This Oregon team, I think they're going to be good. Will they be good enough to match up against Georgia? I just don't think so. I think the close proximity to home and the fact that this team won the national championship last year, it'll be a close one. It'll be a scare. But I'm going to take the Bulldogs, and I think they'll also beat Samford very easily to improve to 2-0. Then you've got South Carolina. That's a rough one on the road. The Gamecocks should be a pretty good team this year. They've got a lot of hype. It's early in the season. On the road, this is going to be a very exciting one. A lot of people going to be looking forward to it. But I feel like, once again, Georgia's just good enough. It is on the road, but I think they're going to be able to pull it out. If they are going to lose a game, it definitely could be right here. But the fact that they haven't played anyone too tough, it's right after Samford, that's basically a bye week. I think they should be able to take care of business there and improve to 4-0 after beating Kent State. The Golden Flashes, I was looking at their schedule the other day. It is a very, very difficult schedule, so kind of a side note there. But moving on, they've got Missouri on the road. The Tigers maybe in a different conference, they'd probably be a 6-6, 7-5, maybe even 8-4 team. But in the SEC, they're teetering on the edge of a bowl game. Truth be told, I don't know a whole lot about them. I haven't dug into that yet, but I do know they're not going to be an amazing team. It is on the road, but I think after that game against Kent State, they should be in a good position to go in there and win. Then they play Auburn. This is a rivalry game. Auburn should be pretty decent. They're kind of a wild card team. They had all those off-season distractions. I think, once again, it's at home. A lot of these tougher games like Tennessee, you see, or Auburn, they're at home. And games like Oregon or Florida, they're at a neutral site. So the schedule bodes well for Georgia. Of course, being in the East Division, there's not as many. They don't have to go through the same gauntlet as a team like Auburn. But I think, at home, crowd will be rocking for this rivalry game. They should be able to win that one as well. And then they should be able to beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, not a very good team. Vandy has to play both Georgia and Alabama this year. Yeah, not both on the road too. Yeah, not a good situation for Clark Lee and company. Either way, they've got a bye week after that. It looks like not a great time for a bye week at first, but that's 7 games. I know it's after Vanderbilt, but that comes right before Florida, so Florida, they're not going to be an amazing team this year, but they're going to be good enough where it may be a scare, just like last year. That game was close until right before halftime with those defensive plays for Georgia. It's in Jacksonville, it always is. I'm going to take Georgia in this one, but, it could be an upset. You never know. It's always a fun game to watch, but, they should be able to take care of business. Then they've got Tennessee. Tennessee, they are getting better. They've got Hendon Hooker, an amazing offense. If this was on the road, it could be a big challenge for Georgia. They could even lose that one, but at home, again, just like Auburn, I think they will be able to take care of business. It's a scare, just like Florida, just like South Carolina, just like Oregon, but they will be able to take care of business. I know people talk about Stetson Bennett and say he is, not an amazing quarterback. He won them a national championship last year, and even though they lose the likes of Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis, this is still a really solid team, all things considered. They're going to be able to win these close games, I think, and that applies to Mississippi State up next. Again, just like a team like Florida or Auburn, they're going to be pretty good, but are they going to be able to beat these big teams in the SEC like in Arkansas or Ole Miss or teams like Georgia and Alabama who are at the top of the nation? It's going to be, they may win a few, but against Georgia, I know it's on the road. The cowbells will be ringing. I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. Once again, a lot of these games can be close, but I think the experience for Georgia, it's going to be enough for them to win this game. But then you've got Kentucky on the road. Kentucky, they've got Will Levis, who's getting a lot of hype. All in all, this is a very solid Kentucky team. They've been getting better. They're starting to use the pass a little bit more, so they're becoming, more of a dual threat team. Georgia's got to watch out for this one. But, like I said before, I think this team is just good enough. Maybe not as good as Alabama, but the schedule bodes well, where I think they're going to be able to win these close games. And then Georgia Tech, I know it's a rivalry game, but they shouldn't be that great. It's at home. I think they will be able to conquer the Yellow Jackets. So I have Georgia going 12-0. Again, I've got Alabama. I think they're a better team. But they've got all those tough road games against Ole Miss and Texas and Arkansas and Tennessee. I feel like even though they're slightly better than Georgia this year, it's going to all add up to one loss. Georgia, they've got Tennessee and Auburn at home, Florida and Oregon at a neutral site. The games I'd really be concerned about, South Carolina and Kentucky. South Carolina, it's early in the season, and I think they'll be able to win that one. They've got an easy game before it. And Kentucky, Georgia just has more depth than Kentucky, and if there's an injury or two for either team, Georgia is going to be the one with the advantage. So that's why I have them going 12-0, going to the SEC championship, of course, against Alabama. We'll get to that one when we get there here in a week or two as we approach the college football season. What do you guys think? Do you think they'll be able to go 12-0? Or will they drop a game like Kentucky or South Carolina? I could see it happen, but will it happen? I'm just not quite so sure about that. Let me know what you think about them down below. I want to thank you all very much for watching once again. We'll continue and give you more of these prediction videos as we approach the college football season. If you want to see those, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye.